Hey guys, and welcome back for another hips and shoulders 25-minute yoga class. For today's session, you're just going to need a strap, or you could use a belt, scarf, item of clothing, or even a PVC pipe or broom handle if you need to. Other than that, just some space on the floor, a mat if you have one, and whenever you're ready, we'll begin with your strap. So we'll begin in the center of our mats with our straps. You are going to grab one end of the strap, wrap it around your hand, and then grab the other hand in a nice wide grip, and we'll just begin with 10 shoulder pass-throughs. So lifting the strap up and over, keeping the arms straight, tapping behind and tapping in front. So just begin nice and slowly, ease into those shoulders to begin with. Try and keep those ribs drawn all the way down. Try not to flex and arch as you pass through overhead and take the arms behind. As you go through more of these, you might find your shoulders begin to loosen, and in which case you could just take half a turn in and challenge yourself with a slightly narrower grip. We'll go for 3 more after this one in each direction. You should begin to feel that your shoulders are opening up nicely. One last one. And then release the strap from your hand, and you can just leave it there for a moment or two. We're going to take the hands straight up in front of us, up above us, palms facing forwards, and hands are nice and active. And you're simply going to just push the hands forwards and back. Try and keep the body nice and still. So take a nice hip distance stance, lock in that core, and just flag the arms forwards and back. This should begin to burn a little bit in the shoulders. It just gets the blood flow going and starts to open them out. 1 or 2 more each way, and then slowly release the arms, shake them all out, and we'll just do 5 arm circles backwards, and then 5 arm circles forwards. When you've done 5 in both directions, we'll take the hands out wide, and you're just going to do palms facing down, palms facing up. So you're just doing 1 in each way. So this is just activating the blood flow. The shoulders should probably be burning pretty badly. We'll do 1 last one each way, and then shake it all out and come to the front of your mat and find yourself in your Tadasana pose. From here, we're just going to inhale as we lift the arms up, hinge at the hips, bend at the knees, and come all the way down into that Uttanasana forward fold. Taking opposite hand to opposite elbow, you're just gently going to draw the chest over the thighs, crown of the head towards the floor. Just take 3 or 4 deep breaths as you swing from side to side, focusing on getting into those hips and glutes. And then when you're ready, we're just going to take the hands to the floor. We're going to come into 3 crouch curls. So you're going to inhale as you lift the heels, knees to chest, nose to knees. Exhale as you press up into that forward fold. Inhale to crouch. Exhale to fold. Inhale to crouch. Exhale to fold. From here, heel toe the feet out to the edges of the mat, find your squat stance. Inhale as you lift all the way up, palms together at the top in extended Tadasana, and then exhale as you come all the way down into your garland pose. Just take a moment there to rock from side to side, get into the hips, try and keep the ankles or the heels to the floor, chest nice and lifted. So try not to look down, try to keep nice and upright. Think about drawing that tailbone to the floor as you lengthen through the crown of the head towards the ceiling. Maybe bounce up and down a few times, just ease into those hips. And then we're going to take left hand to the floor, inhale to lift and twist with the right hand up towards the ceiling. Exhale, release, right hand to the floor, inhale to lift and twist with the left up towards the ceiling. Exhale, release. We're going to do 3 of those on each side, so 2 more to go. Moving with your own breath and your own time. And then gently come back to center, heel toe your feet back underneath your hips, and take a moment in that ragdoll position again. So really focus on drawing that chest a little bit deeper this time over the thighs. Elongate that spine, draw it all over, stretch it over your legs. Couple of deep breaths. And then gently bring the hands to the floor. Walk the feet all the way back to your down facing dog position. From here, press through the hands, spread the fingers, open up the top of the shoulders. I'm just going to take my top off because it's going to fall over my head. So press through the shoulders and pull them apart. So don't have your neck shrunk up into your shoulders. Try and pull the shoulder blades apart to create a nice broad upper back, releasing the neck from the shoulders and your ears from the shoulders too. Crown of the head towards the floor, bend at the knees and just pulse through the arms a few times, opening up that thoracic spine, opening up the arms and the chest, and then just gently pedal from side to side with the feet as you open up those calves, hips and hamstrings. Take a few deep breaths. And then when you're ready, just inhale to find that nice long spine. Exhale, push the heels towards the floor and come down onto your hands and knees. So hands under shoulders, knees under hips, and we're just going to do 5 cat-cows. So inhaling to dip the stomach, squeeze the shoulder blades together, look up towards the ceiling. Exhale to round through the spine, press the ground away, pull the shoulder blades apart. Inhale to lift. Exhale to round. Inhale to lift. Exhale to round. Inhale to lift. 2 more to go. Exhale to round. Last one. Inhale to lift. Exhale to round. From here, just take the hands slightly further forwards and we're going to come into heart melting pose. So dropping the chest towards the floor, nose towards the floor, chin to the floor, wherever you need to be. Just think about melting literally your heart into the ground below. Take 3 deep breaths. Just gradually, as you exhale, let the body sink deeper into the pose. And then just slowly bring yourself into puppy pose. So draw the chest down toward the floor if you want to. You can stay there in heart melting pose if you want, or just bring the chest all the way down. Just try to take the bend in the upper back. Don't let the hips go too far forwards of the knees so that the bend becomes in the lower back as well. Take a nice deep breath all the way in. Exhale. 2 more breaths. Last one. Exhale, and then just slowly walk yourself all the way back up onto your hands and knees and sit back in extended child's pose, or with your hands even by your side in just regular child's pose. Just take 2 deep breaths. And then we're coming back up onto our hands and knees again. So hands under shoulders, knees under hips. And we're just going to do 3 thread the needles. So you're going to thread your right hand through and under your left, looking out under your left armpit. Take a nice deep breath in. Exhale. And then inhale to lift and twist. We're going to thread that 3 times. So exhale to thread. Inhale to lift and twist. Exhale to thread. Inhale to lift and twist. Last one. Exhale to thread and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, come back up to center and switch sides. So left hand comes through and under, shoulder to the floor. Look out under your right armpit. Take a nice deep breath all the way in. Feel that stretch down the back of the shoulder and into the arm. Exhale, and then we're back to those 3 threads. So inhale to lift and twist. Exhale to thread. Inhale to lift and twist. Exhale to thread. Last one. Inhale to lift and twist. Exhale to thread. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, come all the way back up onto your hands and knees. We're going to come into hero pose. So knees together, feet can either be underneath your hip, underneath your bum, or you can take the feet out to the side and just slowly wiggle your bum into that gap that you've just created with your feet. Just make sure there is no pain in the knees. This should be just a stretch in the front of the legs. Take a nice deep breath in as you reach up high with the right hand, bend at the elbow and pull back with the left hand on that elbow, just opening up that tricep. We're just multitasking here as we stretch out the quads and the triceps at the same time. One more deep breath all the way in. Exhale. And release, and then switch sides. So left hand goes up and back, right hand comes to the left elbow, and you're just gently pulling back on that elbow as you come into that tricep stretch. Last deep breath all the way in. Exhale. And then just slowly shake them all off. Come up onto your hands and knees, and then take the hands slightly further forwards, tuck the toes and press back to your down facing dog. From here, just pedal out the feet, open up those hips, those hamstrings, and we're going to take 3 body flows. So you're going to inhale, roll forwards, drop the hips, look up, find cobra, and then exhale, push back to down facing dog. Inhale, roll forwards, drop the hips, look up, find cobra. Exhale, tuck the toes and press back to down facing dog. One more time. Inhale, roll forwards, drop the hips, find cobra. And then exhale as you press back to your down facing dog. Pedal out the feet. Take a moment there if you want to pulse through the shoulders as well. Then we're going to come into some lizard lunges. So we're going to take the right foot outside of the right hand, reach the heart forwards, and keep that back leg lifted off the ground this week. So really suck that thigh and knee away from the ground. Press that heel back. Push through the chest to elongate the spine. From here, if you want to stay here, you can. Option to come all the way down onto your hands. Keep shooting the chest forwards and keep lifting through that thigh. This is quite a tough posture. It's a strengthening and opening posture. Hold for 3, 2, 1, release the knee to the floor, relax a little bit and let that right knee go out towards the side, keeping those toes glued to the ground. Take a nice deep breath all the way in. Exhale. One more deep breath all the way in. Exhale, slowly come all the way up onto your hands. You're going to reach back with your right hand to left foot. If you need to narrow the grip, you can, or use a strap and bring that heel in towards the glute. Pulse it a few times, open up that quad, and then you're going to hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, release. We're going to step back to down facing dog. And then repeat on the other side. So left foot comes outside of left hand, keeping that right knee sucked away from the ground. Press through the hands, shoot the chest forwards, press that heel back. Become nice and strong and active. Keeping the toes locked, you can send that right knee out to the side and even forwards over that ankle. Option to stay here, or option to come down onto your forearms. If mobility allows, just make sure you keep reaching that heart forwards. Keep that knee locked away from the floor. Hold for 3, 2, 1. Relax the knee down. Take a nice deep breath all the way in. Exhale. One more deep breath all the way in. Exhale. Bring the hands back underneath your shoulders. Reach back. Left hand goes back to right foot, bringing that heel in towards the glute, pulsing it a few times, and then holding for 3 or 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, release. We're going to come all the way back to our down facing dog, pedal out our feet, and we're going to come through into that body flow. So we're going to inhale as we roll forwards, drop the hips, look up, find cobra, And then this time we're going to push back into extended child's pose. Taking the hands out just slightly wider, we're going to scoop the chest from child's pose all the way up into cobra 3 more times. So you're going to keep the chest low, scoop it along the floor, look forward, keeping the chest all the way through, and then press up into that cobra pose. Exhale, push back to extended child's pose, and we're going to do that 2 more times. So scoop the chest, try and drag it along the floor as much as you can, and then press up into that cobra. Exhale, push back. 1 more time. Scoop the chest all the way through, and then press up into that cobra pose. Exhale, melt the body forwards, come into a prone position, and we're going to reach back for half frog. So right hand goes back to right foot, grabbing hold of the foot, flipping the grip if you can, and pressing that heel in towards the glute. Pulsing a few times. We're working our way into that full monkey twist. And then hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, release, and then switch sides. So left hand goes to left foot. Pulse the heel towards the bum a few times. Flip the grip if you can, and then hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, release. And then we're going to come back up into that down facing dog position. Pedal out the feet. Open up the calves, the hips, the hamstrings, and then we're coming into pigeon pose. So inhale, lift the right leg up high towards the sky, bend at the knee, hinge at the hip, open up that twist. Play with that twist for a moment or 2, and then swing the leg through, 45-degree angle with the knee towards the front right corner of the mat. Slide the left leg back, press through the ground, open up that hip flexor as you find a nice level hip position. So sit bone to floor, hip bone to heel, and then when you're ready, inhale to lift. Exhale as you fold, and take 3 deep breaths. Last deep breath all the way in. Exhale. And then inhale as you come all the way up, hands under shoulders, tuck the toes, step back to down facing dog, and we'll do pigeon pose on the other side. So inhale, left leg goes high to the sky, bend at the knee, hinge at the hip, find that hip twist, open it, play with it, and then swing that leg through, coming into pigeon pose on the other side. Untucking the toes, finding that level hip position, press through the ground, open up that hip flexor on the right side this time. Take a nice deep breath all the way in. And as you exhale, fold the body over that front leg. Take 3 deep breaths. Last deep breath all the way in. Exhale. And then slowly inhale as you come all the way up. Hands under shoulders, step back to down facing dog. Pedal out the feet. And then we'll just come into a low lunge. So step the right foot forwards, left knee goes to the floor, reach the heart forwards, find that nice stretch in the hip flexor. Take a nice deep breath all the way in. And as you exhale, pull back into half splits, reaching nose towards toes. Take a nice deep breath all the way in. Exhale. And then we're just going to limber from side to side. So inhale to come through, exhale to pull back. Inhale to come through, exhale to pull back. From here, we're just going to come through back to that low lunge, step back to down facing dog, and then left foot comes through to the front, finding our low lunge position, reaching the heart forwards. Take a nice deep breath all the way in. Open up that that right hip flexor today. Take a nice deep breath in again. Exhale and pull back into half splits, flexing the toes towards the nose, strengthening that front leg. And just take a nice deep breath all the way in. Exhale. One more deep breath all the way in. Exhale, and then we're back to limbering. So inhale to come through to that low lunge. Exhale to pull back. Inhale to come through. Exhale to pull back. Inhale to come through. Last one, exhale to pull back. Inhale to come through and exhale to step back to down facing dog. So we're going to come into twisted lizard pose or twisted monkey pose now. So we're going to take the right foot outside of the right hand, coming into that low lizard lunge, dropping the back knee to the floor. Reach the heart forward, send that knee out to the side and keep those toes glued. From here, we're going to take that right hand up and over, catch the foot, try and catch it around the ankle. Option to stay here in this couch stretch, or we can go deeper. So we're going to take the left arm down onto our forearm, sending the right knee out to the side. We can now let the toes roll over onto the outside knife edge of the right foot. Kick back into your hand as you look over your shoulder and stretch the body out as if you're wringing out a wet towel. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, release that back foot. Slowly come back up out of the pose. Step back to your down facing dog. And then we're going to switch sides. So left foot comes outside of left hand, dropping the back knee to the floor, reaching the heart forward. So setting yourself up correctly to begin with is so important. From here, we're going to take the left hand back to right foot, catching, and obviously option to hold just that glute, that quad stretch, or catching just around the ankle so you can flex the foot back into the hand. Option to come down onto your forearm as well. And then when you're ready, exhale as you kick back, rolling over onto the knife edge of that left foot this time. So your toes are lifted and looking over the shoulders, stretching the body out, just like you're wringing out a wet towel. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then exhale, release. Slowly come back up onto the hands, step back, come into a kneeling position, and we'll just come into that extended child's pose. Forehead to the floor, just take 2 or 3 deep breaths. And then when you're ready, we're just going to come onto our backs to finish with a supine twist. So swivel yourselves around. Come into a supine position on your mats and bring your knees in towards your chest. Taking the arms out wide in a T-shaped position, palms facing down, glue those shoulders to the floor. So think about opening up that chest. As you exhale, drop the knees all the way over to the left. And as you inhale, look towards the right. Option here to let the knees hang out and let gravity do the work. Press down on that outer thigh, or even extend that top leg and cradle it in the opposite hand. Wherever your mobility allows, just gently take 3 deep breaths. Last deep breath all the way in. Exhale. And then slowly inhale as you lift your knees and your head back to center. Exhale as you drop the knees all the way over to the right this time. Inhale to lift and twist the head to look towards the left. Again, option to let gravity do the work. Press down on the outer thigh or extend that top leg and cradle it in the opposite hand. Take 3 deep breaths. Last deep breath all the way in. Exhale. And then slowly inhale as you lift your knees and your head back to center. Hug them in tight with both arms. Rock from side to side. Massage that lower back. Take a moment there to enjoy the feeling. And then whenever you're ready, just gently roll over onto the right side of your body and come all the way up to seated. Find yourself in the center of the mat as we take one deep inhale, lift the hands up above the head, palms together at the top. And as we exhale, bringing the hands to the forehead, kind thoughts, to the lips, kind words, to the heart, kind feelings. Namaste.